Welcome back to Kingsburg. This is going to be part 8, the final half of year 4. And one, not a correction, but an oversight on my part. The black player has the town hall. This is at the end of each productive season. You may spend a +2 token, which he had, or one good of any kind to get a victory point at the end of the season. And you can do that only once per season. While during the spring season and the summer season, the black player did have these +2 tokens at the end of each of them, so I'm just going to retroactively spend them right now, and he's going to go from 26 points up to 28, because he would have done that. Just an oversight on my part, trying to do the two players simultaneously and keep track of all the abilities. All right, we're going to go from 4 to 5, last half of year 4. Person with the least number of buildings, and that means red player has 10 buildings and the black player has 11. So the red player once again is going to get to the King's Envoy for the remainder of year 4 and the beginning of year 5. Alright, and so from here we go right into the fall production phase, and when we do get into production we need to roll some dice, so let's get to it. Alright, so the first thing of course is the blocking dice, and we're going to be blocking number 10. Ooh, okay, and next is number 8 this time. Alright, so 8 and 10 are blocked. And of course, I'm just going to roll the red and black together, see what we get. So 11, 12 for red, and 11, 12, 13, 14 for black, which means this time, switching turn order, red is going to go first. So let me zoom down a little bit and we'll allocate the red and black dice. Okay, so up first, of course, is the red player, and they're just going to take a 5, and they're going to put it right here on the sergeant. All right, over to the black player, and the black player is going to use 11 and go in the 11 spot. Over to the red player, and the red player is going to use 7 and go on the number 7 spot, and the black player has a 3 left, so there we go. All right, get rid of the blue and green dice, and we'll start allocating the resources. Black player is going to collect 1 wood, going over here, and over to the red player now, who's going to get 1 guard. Now the red player has the stable built, and it says +1 guard when you influence an advisor giving you at least a guard. So this is going to give the red player, let's go up a little bit here, 2 guards. All right, continuing on, we get over to the red player who has a 7. He gets a resource of his choice. He'll take a gold, and he also gets a +2 token. So I'm going to put that over. He has 2 of them now. And now the last, of course, is black, and he has a choice of gold and stone, or stone and lumber. So he'll take a stone and a lumber, and that will be the end of our fall production. All right, with that in mind, we'll go over to the red player who's first and see if they're going to build anything. And looking at the red player mat here, it's pretty obvious with only 1 gold that the red player will be building absolutely nothing. So that's the red player build phase. Let's go over to the black player and see if they are able to or want to build something. All right, looking at the black player's resources, 1 stone, 2 lumber, and 1 gold, we can see that, is it possible? I don't believe it is possible for him to build. Oh no, he can build a barracks, because he has the crane, and you pay 1 less gold for anything in 3 and 4. So the barracks would be 1 gold, 2 lumber, and a stone, which is exactly what he has. So the black player is going to build a barracks. That's going to get him 4 victory points. He's going to go from 28 up to 32. And the barracks says you pay only 1 good per soldier to recruit in phase 7. Okay, so that's the build phase for the fall. Let's go back to the turn order and continue on. Okay, so continuing on in year 4, and black this time, because he has a town hall, he does not have the +2 token, and he has no resources, so he can't use the town hall to get a victory point. But anyway, we're going to move to number 7, which means spend 2 resources to get 1 soldier. And the only player that is able to spend 1 resource would be black player because of the barracks he just built, but he has no resources at all, so he's not able to get any guards. And the red player only has 1 resource and so is not able to get any guards. And that takes us right over to the battle. And so the king needs to roll a die, and we'll see how many troops this time the king is going to provide. Wow, he provides 6. This is getting pretty silly. All right, because the end of year 4, the king sending in a horde of troops. And what are we fighting? And we're fighting only number 5 goblins. So it is immediately defeated just by the king's troops alone. And everyone's going to get a lumber. But someone else is going to get a bonus victory point. Well, let's figure out, starting with red, what their attack value total is, and then we'll go to black and go from there. All right, over to the red here. So they have +1 for the guard tower, +1 for the palisade, +1 goblins for the barricade. That's going to give them 3. And the 6 from the King's army, so that's 9, and they have 2 guards they got on the board, so that's a total of 11. And yes, 11 annihilates the 5, and they're going to get 1 lumber for that. All right, over to black and see how they did. Okay, so on the black board here, we've got, of course, 1 for goblins, so 1, 2, 3, 4 for the blacksmith, so that's a total of 4. They have 0 on the board guards, and they have 6 from the king, so that's a total of 10, which of course is way more than enough to beat the goblins 5. They're going to receive a lumber, but they've only had a 10, and the red player had a total attack of 11. The red player gets a bonus victory point, taking them from 35 points to 36. All right, let's go back down to the board and wrap up the end of year 4. All right, so wrapping up year 4, of course, our token here is going to move to year 5, the last year. This is going to go back to the number 1 spot. And I can't forget, we need to zero out the guards at the top again. All right, that's Kingsburg 2-player game, the end of year 4, which means we're 80% of the way through the game. The score right now, red player 36 points, and the black player 32 points. The black player only has 1 more year to try to catch up to red. Will he do it? Maybe, maybe not. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Join me next time for part 9, which is going to be the first half of year 5. And year 5, of course, is the last year of the game. All right, thanks for watching.